What's up everyone, New Skill here coming at you live with a Melodious one card combo video. Melodious has been doing me absolutely fantastic in tournaments right now. I've been entering as many locals as I can, and honestly, Melodious has been kicking butt the entire time. I do not regret picking this deck up. I'm a hero player at heart, but this deck is getting more and more favor the more I win with this deck. This deck has a lot of off engine. It has at least 15 hand traps and quite a few off engine. So with half your deck being off engine cards, the fact that you get 9 basically for free starters is pretty phenomenal, honestly. You do have a few 2-card combos here with couplet and soprano. However, we'll be focusing on the 1-card combos today. And we will start off with our first move in solo combo. Your 3 1-card combos is Asado, Refrain, and first move solo. But these two are basically the same combo. So that's why I think that's where we should start. Asado is a better card in general. It's kind of broken actually. It's brand fusion with no drawbacks. So, kind of crazy. All you need is the open field. But we'll save that for last and focus on our first move in solo, and by extension, our refrain combo, because they are tied together. This card summons this card for the combo. We'll do it like this to simulate our hand, since we'll imagine these 4 cards are hand traps. They cannot help with our combo whatsoever. So we have our 5-card hand right there. And of course, we'd start out by activating our first move in solo. First move in solo allows you to special summon 1 level 4 or lower Melodious monster from your deck. You cannot special summon any other cards other than Melodious cards when you use this, so be careful. It'll lock you out of your gravity controllers, your Baguskas, and all of those of the like. But if your combo goes through, you won't need those cards anyway, so what's the matter, right? So you first move in solo, you special summon your refrain here. Refrain effect would activate. You have no other useful resources, so 100% of the time you're grabbing your couplet. The only time you wouldn't grab your couplet is if you had couplet in your hand already and you don't need the special summon. And once again, couplet's effect is to special summon 1 Melodious from hand or graveyard. In this scenario, we don't have that, so instead we'll immediately place it to our pendulum zone, activate her effect, which is add 1 Melodious spell or trap card from the deck, as long as you only control Melodious monsters. We'll add Melodious Concerto, and we will immediately activate it. The only 2 monsters, they would go to the graveyard, but since they're pendulum, they'll go to the top here, and that'll special summon you your Baka. Get used to special summoning this zone. For this specific combo, it doesn't matter, just because you can't go to gravity controller anyway. But if they were to effect fail or something your Baka, you would be able to send it away with the enemy controller to continue your combo in that situation. But regardless, Baka effect goes off, Baka 1, and then refrain 2, couplet 3, just to chain block so they can't Ash Blossom and the like. Refrain here, couplet 2. Doesn't matter where, I just prefer refrain here, couplet here. And Baka will go off to special summon 1 Melodious monster. I suggest bringing Soprano. Soprano's first effect doesn't activate because you have no Melodious monsters in your graveyard. And here you have technically 2 options. You could fuse here for before that actually, you would refrain first, refrain effect. When it's pendulum zone, you can target 1 Melodious monster to foolish burial 1 card. 1 Melodious monster to create attack. It'll be Arya, just so you can mess around with it in your graveyard, summon it later. But then now you technically have 2 combo lines here. One of them I don't like very much. That is fuse these 2 for your Scuberta, a second Baka, power Scuberta for the triple DD Crow, it would be Baku 1, Concerto 2, and then they'll allow you to special summon special soprano out, add all your back to hand, special summon this out. It leaves you with a functional board, but a very weak board that basically only has triple D Crow and some protection. So instead, I would suggest you to actually link these off. Into your Bloom Harmonis. The chain here would be Bloom Harmonis 1, Bacca 2, and actually Melodious Concerto 3. The second fret, your Melodious Concerto goes off if you send one Melodious Fusion monster, or if it goes to the graveyard. Bacca 1 to the graveyard, so Melodious Concerto would go to the bottom of your deck, and you would draw a card right there. So now you have 5 cards in hand, which is pretty good. Then your Bacca would go off. You special summon 1 from graveyard. I would suggest the Soprano here. What's it called? You could go for Arya, but we're going to get in Arya anyway soon. And then the Blue Harmonis, you would discard 1 card. To special summon 2 Melodious monsters with different levels to the points it's pointing towards. When you special summon the Soprano, you do not want to put it here because that stops this effect. You want to put it here, 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 but I suggest here just because it looks nicer. Funny. Anyway, they had to be different level, so I would go for, where is she? For Shapina, here she is. And this one doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna go for the second Shapina, the second Soprano. Shapino is very important, so you can actually fusion summon into your boss monster here. However, right here, your Soprano's effect would activate to add back Arya to hand. And activate the Shapino effect just to add back Bacca to hand, since it's free resource, that's free. Back to your extra deck. And right here, you actually fusion summon right here. The fusion summon 1 has to be herself. 2, because it needs to be a Maestro monster, and any other one. I suggest this one. So 1, 2, 3, into your boss monster. Oops, into your boss monster. Right here. She's absolutely crazy, by the way. I think I've said this before, but Maleficent, she lets you banish monsters. And like, for example, here, if they were to Nibiru here, that's like that. This one combo is very weak to Nibiru because I think it is before the 5th summon. But this completely protects you from Nibiru, which you'll see with the Asado combo. What you call it? And with this, you would pendulum summon right here for Arya. And now here you have choice. Here, you can either leave it as is, you have the send back and the protections from here, or you can fusion summon 1 more time into your Scuberta. Scuberta being, now you have a triple DD Crow, that's what she does, and bounce to hand. What's it called? 2 bounces to hand because it's per monster, which is pretty good. Or you could keep these 2 around, so you have 3 bounces and the protection that Arya gives you. Well, and that's the first combo, what you can call it, which is pretty good. It suffices in a lot of matchups. Honestly, a lot of decks just crumble with this card, and your Scuberta is actually really, really, really good against something like Snake Eyes. So it depends on the matchup. And here we will go for our Asado combo. Asado combo is a lot more complicated, but gives you a lot better results and a much better end board. Setting things back up. La-di-da. What's called And right here, we have Arsenal in hand and 4 mysterious cards we don't know. Hand traps, useless. What you call it? Here we would Arsenal here. Usually the targets are Arsenal because Arsenal lets you apparent fusion 2 monsters from deck to the graveyard to special summon 1 Melodious monster, which will be your Baka. What's called, depending on what you have in hand, is what you send. If you have what's called Refrain in hand, you send your Soprano and Couplet to the graveyard. However, we're acting as if you have no other resources in here. So you're going to send your Refrain and your Couplet to the graveyard if you have no other Melodious monsters in hand. These go straight to the graveyard since they're not sent from the field to the graveyard to summon your Baka. In defense position. Now it actually matters to put it here for your gravity controller. Gotta keep going to it. Where are you at? Your gravity controller. Just in case you continue combo. Baka effect does go off here. Baka effect would special summon 1 from deck. You are going for Shapina here. You could also go for Soprano here, but Shapina is superior in this combo line for the sole fact that you can loop Shapina more than once to keep on adding cards back to your hand. Here, you Shapina here to add back Couplet. Couplet. Couplet effect activates since it was added from hand that wasn't a draw to special summon your Refrain from graveyard. Refrain effect activates. What's called adds 1 from your deck to your hand. Here I would actually pick your Soprano here, so you have it to fusion summon later. Next, you place your Couplet into your pendulum slot. Activate effect to get your fusion. And now here's the interesting part. Here, you have these 2 cards in hand. You technically have a line where you could normal summon this, fuse like that. But here I would suggest to Melodious Concerto for 1, 2. And don't do the Baka right now because you have no targets in graveyard for it right now. Instead, do it with your Shapina. And that would be to bring out your boss monster, Maleficent. Right here. Since you fusion summoned here, you would 1, 2 right here, place them back out. And here you Refrain effect. To target either one, doesn't matter, it's your first turn. To send your Aria from deck to graveyard. And throughout all this, we did not normal summon yet. So this is where we would normal summon. We normal summon the Soprano right here. What's it called? Soprano. You'll be able to fuse right here using its effect. Now you go for the Baka to special summon your Scuberto. The chain right here for graveyard is gonna be Baka 1, Melodious Concerto 2, Melodious Concerto, same thing, bottom deck, draw a card. You have 5 cards in hand. Then it doesn't even look like you use card, which is why it's amazing that you're playing so many hand traps, because now a lot of these are going to be hand traps. What's called, and Baka lets you special summon 1 from graveyard. I'll pick Soprano here. Soprano here, add the Aria back to hand. Oh, interesting. Aria back to hand. And now you pendulum right here to summon the Aria out. And what you have right here, this board defeats so many decks. Like, if I get to here, the game's basically over for my opponent, unless they very specifically can destroy my entire board without targeting. And if they can't do that, because like, for example, 10 Pi can't do anything against this. They can't punch any of these to death. And I have a lot of negation. I have the triple DD Crow here, and I have 4 bounces right here. What's called, so this right here, and since you have a full hand, you have 5 cards in hand right here. You most likely have hand traps to stop them right here too. So unless they're pulling up with a Raigeki or something, and even a Raigeki, you could banish all 4 of these cards to dodge the Raigeki. It's insane. And even Nibiru doesn't stop you because you can send it away for Nibiru. Nibiru is useless against this deck. And that is your big combo. What you can call it. And honestly, there's a million different ways you could have gone to that combo. That, in my opinion, that is the best, most blind way to get to that combo if you had no other resources. But let's say like you had the refrain in hand already, but you also had the Asado, right? Then the line changes immediately because you have the refrain. You don't have to go look for a refrain. You don't have to search anywhere. You already have the refrain, so you can send something like Soprano here, Shapina. You can do so many different things, but this 1-card combo I just showed you will suffice in many different scenarios, and you only need to finesse if you already have resources in your hand otherwise. And with that, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. Subscribe, like, and let me know anything I did wrong. I'm still learning, and if you want to have a conversation with me or you want to talk to me about anything, just leave a comment and I'll respond immediately. Have a good day and be safe.